Though originally intended as an infantry support tank, the Panzer IV formed the backbone of Germany's panzer divisions from 1943 to the war's end. The tank had the same engine and general appearance as the Panzer III, but the Panzer IV had a larger turret and gun, thicker frontal armor, and better cross-country mobility. It mounted a 75mm gun and 2 machine guns and was protected by armor ranging in thickness from 30 to 80mm. It weighed 25 tons, had a top road speed of 40 km per hour, and carried a crew of 5. The first Panzer IVs went into active service in 1939 with a short-barreled gun and were extremely successful until confronted by Soviet T-34 tanks in late 1941. To cope with this threat, the Panzer IV was given thicker armor and refitted with a long-barreled, high-velocity gun that could better penetrate the T-34's armor. The improved Panzer IV could engage the T-34 on nearly equal terms and was superior to the U.S. Sherman tank in many respects. The Panzer IV was the only tank made by Germany throughout the course of the war, from 1939 to 1945. More than 8,000 Panzer IVs were built, making it the most numerous of all German tanks. Its inexpensive, mass-produced chassis, like those of its 3 predecessors, was used as a platform for various types of anti-tank, assault, and self-propelled guns and also functioned as an armored personnel carrier. The Panzer IV Osp-J is the 9th and the last variant of the Panzer IV medium tank family. It was manufactured solely at the Nibelungen Work factory in St. Valentin, northern Austria, from January 1944 to the end of April 1945. This variant was distinguished by numerous simplifications made to prior variants to accelerate production and conserve valuable materials. Instead of making further advancements, the Panzer IV-J variant is a retrograde development from the previous Panzer IV-H variant. This last variant included replacing the single-speed turret traverse electric power drive with a 2-gear manual traverse, with the extra space used for fuel storage. This was a last-ditch effort to increase Panzer IV production rate and compensate for tank losses. The Panzer IV-J variant is a retrograde development from the Panzer IV-H variant. To conserve valuable steel, the 5mm side skirts, known as Schürzen, were removed. The original single-speed electric power drive for the turret traverse was also removed and replaced by manual traverse, resulting in an enormous reduction in turret traverse speed. During close-quarters battles, gunners would have difficulty turning and placing the gun on enemy tanks in time. Other minor changes include reducing the number of spare return rollers on the top tracks from 4 to 3. The hatch on the commander's cupola is now a one-piece cast armor plate rather than the traditional two-piece hatch.
The Panzerkampfwagen IV Osp-J, also known as Gerät 550, was the last variant of the famed Panzer IV. It was produced from January 1944 to the last days of April 1945 in the Nibelungen Work factory in St. Valentin, northern Austria. This variant was characterized by many modifications made to the previous models in order to speed up production and save on valuable raw materials. The Panzer IV was the only medium tank to remain in production from before World War II until 1945. Its total production number, more than 8,500 vehicles from Variant A to Variant J, represents 30% of the tanks produced by Germany. The Panzer Osp-J production lasted about 16 months, during which they received some modifications that sped up production and saved raw materials needed for other purposes. In June 1944, 11 panzer divisions were waiting in the north of France in anticipation of the expected Allied landings, with 863 Panzer IVs out of 965 tanks. Obviously, there were many Panzer IV Osp-JS that took part in the clashes with the Allies which landed on the French coast. On June 11, 8. Panzer Company of the 12th SS Panzer Regiment of the 12th Panzer Division Hitlerjugend counterattacked the 6th Canadian Armored Regiment near Mesnil-Patry, reoccupying the town and putting out of use or destroying 37 Shermans with the loss of only 2 Panzer IVs, forcing the Canadians to suspend their attack. Willy Kretschmer, commander of the 12th Panzer Company, claimed to have destroyed 15 enemy tanks during the Battle of Normandy in his Osp-J tank. During the winter of 1944, some 260 Osp-J tanks were delivered to the Panzer Division stationed on the Western Front. All of these took part in the Ardennes offensive. The Panzer IV was the most used Wehrmacht vehicle in that operation. During the offensive, many Panzer IVs were lost to enemy fire. However, more were lost due to a lack of fuel and spare parts than due to the action of Allied anti-tank weapons or tanks.